So, as promised, this is the first of our mini series, The Diary of a Rugby League CEO. And what we want to sort of do with this is just show people the struggles of running a small, semi professional club and everything that goes with it, basically. We'll be doing a week to week vlog. So, basically, video diary of everything that's going on in the club, stuff that we're striving to do, the good, the bad, the ugly. Like last week, I was cleaning the toilets in the lads' changing rooms in anticipation of Kevin Sinfield and his team coming up. I bet you don't get Derek Beaumont and Matt Ellis doing stuff like that, but we're a small club. We all muck in and we all do what needs done to help progress the club. So when we took over as directors and associate directors, and middle of after the last game, I think we took over, and two things that we wanted to do was focus on player welfare, make sure the lads are looked after. Happy team is going to help with the results on and off the field. Not last year, but the year before in 2024, there was a lot of stuff going on with the club. One of the things that John T used to say in every interview was whatever's going on in the club shouldn't impact that 80 minutes playing. But for me, every single thing that goes on in them lads' lives in their week impacts what they do in that 80 minutes. You can't just switch off for that 80 minutes. Everything you do impacts you. The way you're looked after, the way you're spoken to. Are you getting your wages? Are you eating right? Is your missus stressed out with all of this? If your missus is stressed out, I'll guarantee that the player's going to be stressed out as well. So everything that we do has an impact on that player over that 80 minutes week on week. So we want to focus on that. And the big thing for us is to be more open, honest and transparent with our supporters. And I think a lot of clubs lack that in this modern era. The more supporters know the struggles of the club, I think the more the supporters will get behind the clubs. I see a lot of stuff on the forums, especially with what's going on now with Featherstone, Salford, Halifax. I had a few problems with HMRC as well. And obviously we were there in 2024. A lot of the clubs just shut off and fans will just make up what they want of what they think is going on. So we want to bring fans along for the ride to look at everything that's going on behind the scenes. And I think the first one is club finances. Getting an understanding of what it takes to run a professional rugby league club. And I've ummed and ahed about telling people this and showing people this, but I think people really need to understand where clubs are at. And I got a bit of flack for like pulling down the playing shirts that were up in frames in the club. The biggest reason I done that, and they haven't been binned, they'll be going somewhere else, but I asked quite a few party planners, how do we make this room profitable? How do we get people to book this room? And the feedback was, it needs to be a neutral room. People like the Instagram photos at the birthday parties and the christenings. Having lots of rugby shirts up and stuff isn't going to get people in because it doesn't look good on the photos. And we are a rugby league club, but last season we were a rugby league club, 9 league games and a few cup games. So maybe 12 days out of 365 were rugby league club. And when I show you the finances, you can see that you just cannot rugby club purely based on the rugby. So let's get stuck into this, go through it all. So these are our expenses, and rugby expenses is everything from contracts. Each player gets a contract, and that is so much money per year, and we pay that over 10 months. So from January to October, they get their contract money. So whether they're injured, whether they're playing, that money comes out every single month. We also have insurance costs. Outside of Super League teams, we're probably one of the only clubs that pay the full cost of the lads' insurance, and that's around £2,000 every month that we pay for the players. Travel costs. So this will be the lads' travel expenses. So any of the lads that are travelling up from Millham or further afield, that'll be travel expenses. And that will also cover food. We pay for the lads a meal on the way down to wherever they're playing. And it's the away game coaches as well. So a coach down to one of the other clubs is around about £1,000 each game. So when we look at the expenses, that's made up of the rugby costs. So you can see there the big bulk of running a rugby club is the rugby costs. And running costs is how much it costs to keep the club open. So the gas, the rent, the insurance. A big bulk of that is the insurance. We pay £700 a month insurance, which is a lot, but it covers us for the crowds, the games, and the club being open as well. We've inherited quite a lot of debt. Some of this goes back as far as 2001. No, 2021. So we've inherited this that we're having to try and pay back. So, like you can see there, like nearly £8,000 of debt when it went in January, February, March that we're paying off each month, and that gets a little bit lower as we pay them debts off. Debts are predominantly for loan players, and there was a bit of a mix-up on pensions. So we're going to be paying all them back starting from January as well. So quite a bulk of our, like, we're paying more debt back than what we are actually to run the club. It's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. And one of the things that we wanted to do is build back relationships with people. The club's got a bad reputation for not paying or not paying on time, and we want to change that around to have a good reputation, make sure all our debts are paid off, and it's the only way we can progress the club. So you can see there, a lot of running costs per month, and probably 90% of it is rugby costs. Before we run on to the income, I just wanted to go through the RFL distributions. So you can see here, this is the money we get off the RFL. 2018, we were at £75,000. Then it went up to 85, and this pre-COVID will be based on where we were in the league. 2020, 173,500. 2021, 133,540. And I think with the 2020, there was a bit of an RFL loan in there during COVID because we were closed a lot, and that's probably explain why it was so high. 2023 went down to 63 and a half. 2023, 41 and a half. 2024, 46. And last year, well, this year just finishing, we had 28,000, just over £28,000 distribution money. So you can see the rapid decrease in that, and it just doesn't get any easier. With the RFL distribution money, this is pretty much coming from the Sky Sports deal. Obviously, whatever the RFL get from Sky, I think the championship teams get about 7% of the total broadcasting money. And one thing with that is that's definitely gone down. So the RFL can only give us that percentage of what they get. And the thing is with Sky Sports, how many people do we know that are watching rugby league on dodgy boxes? Ultimately, if people's watching rugby league on dodgy boxes, Sky are not getting the correct analysis back of how many, is there an appetite for rugby league if you're not watching it on their Sky Sports box. So let's be honest, there's a lot of people watching it on the dodgy boxes. So Sky probably don't think rugby league's very popular. They're not making any money for it. So in essence, they're going to keep giving the RFL less and less money unless people's watching it through Sky. And that's unfortunately is going to be the way it's going to go. So you can see there, massive, rapid decline in that RFL money. When we look at our income, this is just everything rugby related. And what I wanted to do is just show people, if we were just running as a rugby club and we were just doing the rugby games, this is where we would be. And I just want to open people's eyes to how much we need to do outside of the rugby to become profitable. So with the income, it's the Legends bundle. We've done the Legends bundle this year to help with cash flow. Last year, we had money in at the start of the season for sponsorships and then nothing on a month-to-month basis. So from a cash flow point of view, it was very hard. So with the Legends bundle, we've done that and spread the cost over 10 months. So we get £3,000 every single month from that Legends deal. Player sponsorship, I changed all the way the player sponsorship works now. So with the player sponsorship, we get £3,000 a month from that. When we're running a game, on average, we probably take around £10,000 in a game. Other club, like our average gate has been over 600. Other clubs have had a lower average than us, and they charge less money per game as well. So when I show you the financials, their figures are going to be even less. Like I said before, RFL distribution money, we got £2,359 a month, and then the rest's made up of other sponsorships. So you can see there, income on June and August, where it's less income, that's when we've got less home games. And when we've only got one home game in August, one home game in June. And when you see the costs, we've got 3 away games. We still have to pay them costs out. So we still have to pay for the bus, 3 away games. We still have to pay the lads' wages. We still have to pay the win and lose pays. And all that goes into that. So this is the summary. So if we weren't doing anything else outside the Rugby League, which we are, fortunately, this is where we would be on a month-to-month basis. So January, we would be $2,000 positive. February, we would be losing $6,000. March, we would lose $11,000. April, we would nearly be up $6,000. May, nearly lose 11. June, 23,000 loss. July, 2,000 loss. August, nearly 24,000 loss. September, nearly 24,000 loss. And then October, 15,000 loss. And £4,000 positive in November. £6,000 in December. So you can see there, it's very, very clear. If we were just doing Rugby League, we're in a massive loss. Over $100,000 a loss in the year if we do nothing else but Rugby League. So a lot of the other clubs are paying a lot more money. Like our budget is probably half of some of the big teams. To give an example, one of our players that used to be on £6,000 or £7,000 contract with us went to one of the bigger clubs, top 3 championship club, and they were offered £30,000. So some of these clubs are paying 3 times the wages, 4 times the wages that we can. So their wage bill's miles bigger, but their crowds are bigger. Some of them are getting like 2,000-3,000 crowd in. But ultimately, when you add them wages up and add the crowds up, we're all probably about the same, where we're having to do something to make these red figures black, essentially. Some of the clubs are lucky enough to have very rich owners that probably just put these money in and make them positive. Unfortunately for Whitehaven Rugby League, you haven't got a rich CEO, and we're just going to have to work our butts off to do stuff in these to get them up to black. So this year we've got a heap of events planned. We've got the World Cup on there. We've got a load of Rugby League events. We've got a lot of stuff coming down there for Connor's testimonial, where the club will make money on the bar. We just need people to support the club. This year, I talked to so many people that said, "Oh, I used to love coming down to the rugby, and I'll try and get down," and they didn't get down. And if everybody who said they would try and get down, come down, we would be absolutely flying. So 2026, what we're asking as a club is we are doing everything in our power to make the club successful, to grow it. We've got a heap of plans in there for match day to make it an experience. And we've got a lot of things going on outside of the rugby to make these red numbers go to black numbers. But the more people we get down, the more people that support the clubs. And this goes for any club. If you're a supporter of a different club and you just go on to the odd game, or like just try and use your club a bit more. We've just done the room out, our bar. And after doing the bar out, I think it costs us about $6,000 to do the bar. And on the back of that, we've had 12 birthday parties, christenings, and events booked in, which is absolutely fantastic. Every event, we'll probably make around £500 to £1,000 profit. So the more events we can get booked in there, the more people use our facility, the more your club's going to be successful, and the more stuff that we can do as well. So we've got a heap of plans to make them reds into blacks. But what I wanted to do is just show the fans and show people outside of the like in the wider rugby league community just how hard it is to run a championship club. And quite clearly, you can all see on there that you cannot run a championship club just on the rugby. We all have to think outside the box. We all have to do some other stuff to bring money into the club. That's that for that episode. Hope everybody enjoying this. If you can put in the comments what sort of stuff you hear about, we're going to be as open and transparent as we can. And like I said before, we're going to do a weekly vlog where we talk about everything that we've done in that week, and just so people can see what's going on in the background. Hope this was entertaining and informative, and hope everybody's got a little bit from it.